Hey people, Fernando here with another video. This is from Neuralink Show and Tell Fall 2022. Elon Musk explaining what he has in mind for, well, the rest of us. Take a listen.
I'm going to provide an overall summary, and then we're going to have a number of members of the Neuralink team come in and give a deep technical overview of the various areas. So let me move forward with the overall summary. Now, some of the things I'm going to say are things if you've been following Neuralink, you've already heard before, but for a lot of people out there, they've no idea what Neuralink does, and so I'll be a little bit repetitive of things you may already know, but that others do not. So, the overarching goal of Neuralink is to create ultimately a whole brain interface. So a generalized input-output device that, in the long term, literally could interface with every aspect of your brain, and in the short term, can interface with any given section of your brain.
So it is a device, as he just said. It's going to be input and output device for your brain. He's talking about creating an operating system, like a Windows for your brain. And yes, there is literally a device attached to your head for this to function as of right now. Now, I don't want to be a scaremonger. I'll look at this objectively and say, yeah, I know for a fact that there's areas in which technology, such as this one, can be advantageous, can help people with serious brain injuries, with discapacities, or any limitations that you have. There's a lot of good that can come out of this, but you would be extremely naive not to see the potential negative implications of having our brains run on an operating system that is what? A patent owned by Elon Musk, the US government. Who the hell is it that is now literally running my brain? And input and output. So yeah, I could quickly, and I don't want to play 2.5, almost 3 hours worth of Elon Musk talking. Look it up yourself, probably worth watching. But at the end of the day, yeah, he does explain how quickly, and he makes a case about if you use your cell phone, right, that is very slow. It's like 10 bits per second or something like that. I don't know exactly. But of course, it would be even faster if I can just think and connect my brain immediately without any physical interface with the internet. Yeah, that would definitely be faster. Now, the faster part has its benefits. It also has its disadvantages, and probably huge disadvantages in terms of input, output. Exactly what is it that you're getting inputted into your brain through this interface, through this device, this gadget that is now running on your software? I mean, I can see the advantages, immediately thinking, I just sent an email to someone, I just made a transfer between bank accounts. Yeah, sure, that sounds nice. Keep in mind, he's working on Twitter. He's working on Twitter as a financial institution. Most likely that is his main objective with this XAll app that he had in mind. And now you're going to be connected through your brain with this Neuralink, and the internet itself. It's going to be Starlink as well. So it's all encompassed under him. He's basically spreading through some of the more significant aspects of humanity. Now, no one will deny the advantages of having a supercomputer in your pocket all the time and having instant access to information and powerful tools like we've never dreamed of. Even like 20 years ago, it was unthinkable. It was impossible. It was not something within this world to have a little device that magically went online. I don't know, 30 years ago, it was this stuff of pure fantasy. Now you can do it. But at the same time, we're seeing some serious problems in terms of future generations socializing, connecting with our peoples. There's people that are alone. And I mean not just old people that lost their husbands, their wives, or people that maybe never formed a family. We're talking about young men and women that are alone because they just don't know how to connect with others. They don't know how to look people in the eye, have a conversation, connect as social creatures that we are. And this bullshit that Mark Zuckerberg tries to sell us all in terms of, yeah, Facebook is a way in which we connect with all our friends and practice jujitsu. No, it's not. You don't practice any freaking jujitsu. You're a bullshitter and all of this socializing that you're talking about. It's, unhealthy, sick people alone in their houses just watching stupid crap on the internet. That's mostly what it is. The actual useful potential benefit for humanity is maybe 1% of what someone like Mark Zuckerberg is really offering through Facebook. What is it positive about Facebook? Anything at all? I don't even use it. I mean, I have it automatically connected to some of my setups, but that's basically it. It's just I just don't get it. What is it that you can get positive out of that? And compared to the disadvantages, there's no comparison. Now, with a little device attached to your head, first of all, what are the medical, biological implications of having, he literally says,
I'm going to provide an overall summary, and then we're going to have a number of members of the Neuralink team come in and give a deep technical overview of the various areas. So, so let me move forward with the overall summary. Now, some of the things I'm going to say are things if you've been following Neuralink, you've already heard before, but for a lot of people out there, they've no idea what Neuralink did. What do we do about artificial general intelligence? If we have digital superintelligence that's just much smarter than any human, how do we mitigate that risk? At a species level, how do we mitigate that risk? And then even in a benign scenario where the AI is very, very benevolent, then how do we even go along for the ride? How do we participate?
So here he's talking about what is it when we reach the point where artificial intelligence is smarter than we are, if we don't have a Neuralink kind of connection, if we don't become actual little cyborgs ourselves, we're going to be left behind the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence will be smarter than us. The artificial intelligence will have no use for us unless we come together in some way with the artificial intelligence that we ourselves create that is superior to us. Then we are, second class. Maybe there is something to that. I was watching the Lex Friedman interview with Todd Howard, the video game developer. And I love video games. I follow him. He was explaining that the artificial intelligence that already exists in video games, they have to dumb it down, because if they tune up the hostiles in your video games even just a little bit, they will make it pointless for you to even try to play the game. You will never beat artificial intelligence in a video game. They will always make better decisions than you when moving around in a tactical manner. I'm talking about a gun. I'm talking about something moving against you. You won't beat it just because you're a human being. The machine will always be better. Talking a little bit about that, something that's quite concerning. San Francisco just voted to allow police deploy robots that kill. So they've just allowed in San Francisco, of all places, the use of robots to kill people. And they're trying to make it look like, yeah, it's only going to be in certain specific situations. We all know how this works. The moment the vote goes through, they use it for whatever the hell they want. So give it just a few weeks, just a few months, let alone a few years, you will have freaking robots and drones flying around shooting people that have a number on their head. That's what they've already voted to authorize. It's for the greater good, right? So who could possibly argue against that? But going back to the Neuralink thing, it is valid. Yeah, the artificial intelligence will surpass us. So we have to connect. Okay. What about the
thing the biggest limitation in going along for the ride and in aligning AI, I think, is the bandwidth, the how quickly you can interact with the computer. So we are all already cyborgs in a way, in that your phone and your computer.
I don't have my phone attached to my head, which is something that he.
And I'm sure you found, if you leave your phone behind, you end up tapping your pockets, and it's like having missing limb syndrome.
No.
Where, the phone is leaving your phone behind is kind of like a missing limb at this point. You're so used to interfacing with it. You're so used to being a de facto cyborg. So what's the limitation on a phone or a laptop? The limitation is the rate at which you can receive and send information, especially the speed with which you can send information. So if you're interacting with a phone, it's limited by the speed at which you can move your thumbs, or the speed at which you can talk into your phone. This is an extremely low data rate. Maybe it's like 10, optimistically 100 bits per second, but a computer can communicate at gigabits, terabits per second. So this is the fundamental limitation that I think we need to address.
Is that correct? Terabits per second? What computer communicates at that speed? It's something in your phone? I don't know where.
To mitigate the long-term risk of artificial intelligence, and also just go along for the ride. And So, but like I said, that's an esoteric explanation that I think will appeal to a niche audience. Some of whom may be here, and that's a very difficult problem. So even if we do not succeed with that problem, I think
Anyway, he goes on, and well, for a man that uses to express a dislike for dragging points around more than 30 seconds. Anyway, what he is going for is basically what he shows here. And this is, according to himself, it's already over a year old. So he shows this monkey.
Spinal cord or neck.
That already has.
So now this is this video is now 18 months old.
Okay,
so this
18
is
months.
Pager, who is playing monkey mind pong. So this is Pager has a Neuralink implant in this video. And the thing that's interesting is that you can't even see the neural implant. So we've miniaturized the neural implant to the point where it matches the thickness of the skull that is removed. So it's essentially it's sort of like having an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, replacing a piece of skull with like a smartwatch.
Now, am I the only one that finds this concerning and fucking scary? The idea that we're already trying to make it okay to have a piece of your skull removed. I mean, this is Elon Musk, a man that has an enormous amount of influence and power in the world, as we know, especially in the United States. This man is like this with the U.S. government, with the Pentagon, with the military, with the elites. This man is already, laughing and normalizing completely the idea of having your smartwatch directly attached to your skull, cutting off a piece of your skull and having this implanted. If we are concerned about small particles of plastic in our food, in our water, being inside our bodies already, and we know for a fact that this does have serious consequences for our health, for our DNA, which is our health as an entire species. When you're talking about ruining our own DNA, that's not just the individual. This is like socializing the disease for entire generations to come. And I don't mean this in the left-wing agenda kind of socialist thing. I talk about as a species that we are having our DNA destroyed. We are becoming less fertile. We're becoming more, stupid, slow, and in poorer health because of all of these microparticles. How much of an impact will it have if we normalize the idea, just like Elon Musk just said, that you're just concerned if you don't have your own phone? That doesn't happen to me. I'm not worried if I don't have my phone with me. I understand how powerful it is. I understand that it's like a little Pip-Boy from a video game like the one you see over there, but I'm okay without a phone. My kids, I'm educating them so as to make sure that they are also okay if they don't have a phone with them all the time. Yeah, sure, take it. but you're not hopeless without your phone. You're not losing a limb, as he just said, if you don't have your phone. You're not a fucking cyborg, okay? It's just a small computer. It is super useful, but make sure you're not so dependent. Now, if you have this attached to your skull, as he is directly talking about now, this is conspiracy theory stuff, right? But he's normalizing it right now.
For lack of a better
Fitbit in your head, okay.
So you can see, you really can't, he looks pretty, he's normal. And I think that's pretty important. If you have a Neuralink device, like I could have a Neuralink device implanted right now, and you wouldn't...
People cheer. People are so
even know.
stupid.
I mean,
it's sad.
Hypothetically, maybe one of these demos, in fact, one of these demos I will.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, sure. Will you verify? Do you see what's going on here, people? Do you see it, or am I the only one that gets it? He's saying that one day he will show up and say, yeah, I have a device in my head right now. It's under my skin. You can't see it, but it's there. So go, run, get yourself your Fitbits fit into your skull. No one will see it. That's okay. I have mine. You don't see it. In fact, I actually have one myself right now. You don't see it, but go buy it. I'm selling it. I have it too. Trust me. Trust me that I did implant this idiotic thing in my skull. Go do it yourself. I already did it. It's been already 6 months. Yeah, it's working. Look, I'm controlling that little ping pong game. It's concerning because people will fall for this. People will think it's a fantastic idea to have this installed in your head. And the amount of people that will bullshit their way, just like Liver King, but at a much higher level. The idea that so many people will fall for this in terms of, famous people are already doing it. And probably some will actually do it for enough money. People do all sorts of insane things. Someone will get us one of these things. Someone famous will get a Fitbit, stuck into their skull, and younger generations will follow suit. What is it that you do? Well, apparently this monkey is playing ping pong with his brain. Now, the monkey, the greatest drug is probably sugar here, which Elon Musk did not even mention. But this monkey is sucking on the straw because mostly he's following another instinct, which is feeding, eating. He's probably being fed sugar. Now, he's apparently fitted with one of these devices under his skin, and that allows him to play the video game, ping pong. But yeah, he's attached mostly to the sugar he's clearly sucking there.
So here's a... first of all, it's kind of wild. Hey, monkeys can play Pong. They can actually play Pong if you give them a joystick. So Pedro first learned to play Pong with a joystick. So I'm like, that was novel. It's like I didn't know monkeys could play Pong, but they can. And then, so we first trained Pedro to play Pong with a joystick. Then we took the joystick.
As someone that does play way too much video games in his life, I can tell you that he's wrong. The monkey is not playing a video game. The monkey is following a more basic instinct, which is eating. So he's doing something that allows him to continue to feed. Playing a video game is entirely in the intellectual, mental, entertainment value of that. So if you're not feeding the monkey will not decide on its own, hey, should I eat a banana? Should I just jump around? Or should I try to, slay this dragon or get this legendary sword or whatever the video game loot is at that moment? That's not something that a monkey will do. Now, a monkey will do pretty much very creative things so as to keep on eating. But, just a difference. He's not really playing a video game. He's doing something that allows him to get more food.
Neuralink. And now he's playing telepathic video games, essentially.
So yeah, he's moving those things with a connection, correct?
We've been on the very difficult journey from prototype to product. And I've often said that prototypes are easy, production is hard.
Anyway, you see where this goes, right? You get it. We're talking about the thing that so many people for so many time for so long thought, well, yes, this is just a conspiracy theory. We'll all get chipped. Now, given the power and influence this man has, and I'm not saying that the technology on its own cannot be beneficial. As I said in the beginning of the video, there's people with brain damage, with damage to their nerves, to their spines, that probably could hugely benefit. Someone that is blind, you get an implant and all of a sudden, yeah, they're a cyborg and they can now see. But it's way better than the alternative of not having that in your natural body, okay? If you're naturally deprived of your physical abilities because of something that happened to you, and you can remedy that to some extent with technology, that's great. If you have some kind of way of using technology to your advantage, I mean, the idea of really having something implanted in your brain like in a horror movie, I mean, I just cannot envision something like that being good. I mean, I do understand that there's going to be countless amount of stupid people that will do this, and they will be super happy about it, just like people ran to get a little chip implanted in their hand because it was more convenient than just pulling a wallet or a cell phone from their pockets, without completely getting how, dehumanizing such a thing is. I do that with my dog. I wouldn't do that with my children. But these people obviously have different perceptions of things. Now, if there's something that allows you to mentally connect, yeah, is that even better than just using your finger? I'm going there with Elon Musk. I think that is going to be great in terms of faster interface. Now, at the exchange of what? What am I giving up? A piece of my skull? Are you fucking insane? Do you really think I want to do that just to what? To Google faster? To order a burger online quicker? That would be the advantage that I have for literally a hole in my head, the kind of thing you usually get when you get shot in the skull. That is what I'm giving up? Yeah, I'll pass, and I hope you guys do as well. Let's keep an open mind. Let's just try to keep the holes out of our heads. Okay, folks? See you in our next video. Take care.